Since the annotated works cited or annotated bibliography is probably a new assignment for many of you, I wanted to just take you through the example that I posted very quickly with a brief explanation of the different parts. So from the beginning, an annotated works cited looks very similar to a research paper. You have your MLA header, MLA format with Times New Roman, size 12, double spaced, all those things that you typically would have in a research paper. And you also have an introduction paragraph. Now, this is an unrelated topic, but the content here is not that important. It's more about the format. So I have an attention-getting sentence here as my start. Then I give a little bit of background, and notice that it's really just a short background of the content. Then I have some questions, research questions, things that I am investigating. And finally, I end my introduction paragraph with a working thesis statement. Up to this point, it looks just like the way a research paper would typically begin, but it's the body of the annotated works cited where it looks different. For an annotated works cited, you are really thinking critically about your sources. You've identified material that you feel is important, is useful, and really you're using this annotated works cited to explain why you think it's useful, why you think it's credible. All right, so you start with your works cited entry for your first source. These should be in alphabetical order according to the first word of the entry. Then you have the annotation paragraph, and what I've done here is color-coded the different parts so you can see what goes into them. One part, just part of the annotation paragraph is a brief paraphrase of the information, and that's what you see here in red. Notice it is very brief. It's not a full-on summary, it's just an overview of what the information is. Then you also explain how this information is useful in proving your thesis. What parts of your research questions does it answer? What does it do to help you make your point? That's especially important if you are answering the persuasive question. Then you also need to have an analysis of the credibility, because remember, you've got to use credible sources here. You don't want to use just any source. The information has to be reliable and it has to be credible. And if there might be a question about credibility, that needs to be addressed here as well. And then compare each source to the other. That's what's here in purple. What does one source have that the other source doesn't? So you can see that I've done that here. All of those elements are present in this paragraph. Let me scroll down and I'll show you that I've done this to the other one. Again, we have a brief overview of the information the paragraph contains, how it would be useful in my thesis, a comparison to the other sources, and then an analysis of the credibility. Notice, though, that these don't have to be in a specific order. As long as all the information is in there, whatever order makes your paragraphs flow the best, makes them sound the most scholarly is fine, as long as every element is addressed in each paragraph. You can see that I've done that down here. This one is definitely in a different order. I've started with my comparison, then I have my paraphrase, an analysis of the credibility, and how it would be used in my thesis statement. If you have any questions about this, just let me know. Send me a message, stop into my room, not a problem. Also, works cited format has changed, so if you have any issues with that, either come by to see me or stop in the library and talk to Mrs. Rhodes. She's an expert at them. Finally, if you watch this all the way through, send me a message with the word coffee cake and I'll give you a bonus point.